Hi, I'm Kristen Kane from Kristen Kane Style. I'm so glad you're here. I am back on YouTube after a long hiatus and I'm pretty excited about it. So today I'm going to talk about 5 tips for packing your suitcase in under an hour. I have helped a lot of clients pack. I have been very fortunate enough to take a lot of trips in my lifetime, and I love to pack a suitcase, actually. I really love to pack a suitcase. So today I'm going to share my 5 tips for making packing a suitcase much easier and much quicker. And the first tip is that it actually takes a little prep or a little readiness on the outside before it's time to actually pack the suitcase. But once you get in the habit of having that readiness, that kind of preparedness beforehand, then when you go to pack, it's super simple. So the first thing, tip number 1 is I always keep my toiletry bag packed and ready to roll. So this is something that I have found game-changing in my own life, because I kind of always dreaded that point where it was time to pack, but I didn't have the right little shampoos and I didn't have small sizes of my face lotion and the things I wanted to take with me as far as toiletries. And when I finally decided that I could get this done in advance and kind of keep it at the ready, it changed the game for me. So now my toiletry pack is always ready to go. I always have, small sizes, or more often small refillable, reusable containers. I don't often buy small sizes anymore. And that's kind of a separate, topic and situation. It really is a matter of preference. I prefer small sizes small bottles that I can reuse myself. And part of that is because I feel like 3 ounces, which is the, TSA approved travel size, I feel like 3 ounces is really too much for me personally. And I found it's also too much for most of my clients for the length of a trip we're taking. And so for a weekend or a week, I really find that a smaller size than 3 ounce is actually better for me. So I use 1 and 2 ounce sizes. I buy them, from a travel store. You can also get them on Amazon. I buy them individually because then I can kind of customize what I actually need. I find the packs often come with a sprayer and a whole bunch of other bottles or jars that I don't actually want. So I've kind of customized my own kit. And I keep it packed. I keep it ready when I come home. Now, I don't necessarily do this as soon as I'm unpacking my suitcase, but within a few days, I go back in and rinse out any toiletry containers that are almost empty or refill them and wipe them down in case something spilled or leaked in the container, in the case while I was traveling. And I re-up on wipes and hand sanitizer and things that now are a little more crucial for travel. And I just make sure it's ready to roll. I don't like feeling like I can't travel at a moment's notice. And so I want to be ready for that, invitation to go somewhere quickly. And it's really simplified and made it faster and easier for me to pack when it's time to actually go somewhere. So keep your toiletries packed and ready so that that part is done and you don't have to add that to the list of things to do when it's time to pack. Number 2 is to know your suitcase. Get really familiar with the compartments and with what you like to put where, because when you go to pack, if you already know what fits where, it makes the whole process so much easier. And if you get a new suitcase, then practice with the new suitcase. It might not have the same layout or the same arrangement or the same size as your old suitcase, so practice with it a little bit, but get to know your suitcase really well. I have a size 10 foot, and so if I don't know my suitcase really well, there's no way that at the last minute I'm going to tuck in some running shoes, because my running shoes are big. So I have to know exactly where they're going to fit, and then those shoes always go in that same spot, and I know what I have to work around. So know your suitcase. Tip number 3 is use packing cubes. I fought this for a while because it seemed to me counterintuitive. They were one more thing that took up a little bit of room in my mind. I have now seen the light. I recognize that packing cubes actually make packing a whole lot easier because you can compartmentalize and you can organize in a way that is not really possible without packing cubes. I also find that with regards to making packing quicker, I can pack the things that I know are going ahead of time. So I can pack my underwear, for instance, in a small pack and have that ready days in advance. I can pack my socks. I usually pack those in my running shoes, but I can pack my socks, whether it's in a packing cube or in my shoes, a day or two in advance so that I know that they're ready to go, where I'm not having to think about the clothing that I'm taking so much. I can pack. I use a packing cube usually to pack my pajamas and workout clothes in one, and then usually tops and sweaters and that sort of thing go in another. And jeans I usually leave loose in the suitcase. I don't usually put those in a packing cube so that they're not rubbing up against the more delicate items. But by using packing cubes, I find that I can pack more quickly because I can pack some of the things in advance, like the underwear and the socks and the pajamas and that sort of thing. And then all I have to think about at the end is, at the last minute, is the clothing and the outfits. And so that leads me to my next tip. Tip number 4 is start to collect the things that you want to put in your suitcase a few days in advance. So my favorite way to do this is to take an empty laundry basket and put it in my bedroom. And as I fold laundry, or as I put things away, or as I, think of things, I drop those things into the basket because I know I'm going to want to take them with me, whether it's a magazine, whether it's a notepad, whether it's headphones that I'm not using or only use on the plane. Whatever it is that is ready to go and that I know I don't want to forget, I put it in the suitcase. And I put it in the laundry basket. And it can be a sweater that I think I want to use, but I haven't really made outfits or thought about how I'm going to wear it. I just don't want to forget it when the time comes. So a laundry basket sits in my room for a few days before I pack, and I just kind of accumulate things that I can then go through and edit out when I'm ready to pack. Then the next tip 5, is to roll everything. Again, I was not an early adopter on this one. I like to fold, and so I thought folding was the better way. I now realize that rolling is actually superior to folding. First of all, with regards to speed, it takes way less time to roll a garment than it does to fold it, or to fold it properly, as in a way that would keep the wrinkles at bay. I find that rolling really eliminates wrinkles almost completely because you're smoothing it as you roll. Takes up less room in your suitcase, tucks nicely into your packing cubes, and it makes the whole process easier, faster and easier when you're ready to pack. So those are kind of, the tips. I will say that when it is time to actually pack, so you've gotten your preliminary work out of the way in order to make packing easier moving forward, when it's time to actually pack, I spread out all of the clothing items. So the underwear and the socks, those things I'm not so concerned about. I know what they do. I know how they work. But the pieces that I'm going to wear as actual outfits, I like to spread out on my bed, or I have a rolling rack that I sometimes use for this because that's my job. Also, you can do it on the floor. Spread out the pieces and kind of eyeball them and check the weather. So often, I have clients who check the weather far in advance and then don't check right before they leave, and then they're left without a raincoat, or they're left with too many heavy sweaters and not enough tank tops. Check the weather right before you pack the suitcase, the weather for your destination, so that you are sure that you have all the pieces that you're going to need while you travel. And then you have them all laid out on your bed, all the clothing items that you're taking or considering taking, and then pay attention to how many days and nights you're going to be away. Travel outfit, how many days and nights you're actually going to be away, so that you can make sure that you actually have enough pieces and that you don't have 3 times too many pieces. Because so often I think most of us decide we're going to live our best lives when we travel, which means we're going to take our best clothing with us when we travel. And so sometimes our suitcase gets filled with things that we really don't need and probably aren't even going to wear, but we look at that as our opportunity, so we pack them in. Instead, get really clear on, do I have enough outfits? Do I have an extra or 2 if that's important to me? And then roll it up, put it in the packing cubes, drop in your toiletry pack, and you're good to go. Happy travels, safe travels. And if you have any questions, you can drop them in the comments below. You can like and subscribe and share and all that stuff for this video if you would. I'd appreciate it. And you can follow me on Instagram. Every Tuesday, I do an Instagram live question and answer. So you can pop over to Instagram, DM me your question in advance, or join live and ask your question then. I do it Tuesday at noon Mountain Time. And my Instagram handle is @KristenKaneStyle. Thanks so much for watching today. Have a good one. Safe travels.